To gain victory over sexual temptation, you must discover when temptation usually strikes. Knowing how you are tempted is important, and knowing where you tend to experience wicked urges is also important. But just as important is discovering when you are tempted to sin sexually. Knowing your when helps you anticipate sexual temptation and then fight it off or flee. The timeliness of sexual temptation has two aspects. You are likely tempted to look at porn either at a particular time of day or when you feel a particular way or both. For example, I know a brother in the Lord who faces his strongest temptations to look at inappropriate videos and images the day after he makes love with his wife. He doesn't know why this is, but he knows the pattern. I know another brother who is tempted to look at porn whenever he is bored and searching for something to do. He's looking for a diversion. Your results may differ. You may feel tempted most strongly in the late evenings when everyone else in the house is in bed and you are up and all alone with your computer or your phone. Or you may identify with the folks in Alcoholics Anonymous who say that temptation is sure to come when you are either hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. HALT for short. For a double whammy, you may know that the strongest urge to watch porn arrives in the late evening and when you are lonely, or whenever you are alone in the house and when you are discouraged. The key thing to remember about your when is that it's predictable. It's predictable because it follows a pattern. Once you start paying attention to how you are tempted and by whom you are tempted and where you are tempted, you also discover when you are tempted. You notice patterns in your behavior that are triggered by your circumstances or triggered by your environment or triggered by the time of day and your mental or emotional state. You notice that sexual temptation arrives in predictable ways, in some common places, and at predictable times. This insight gives you the power you need to avoid sexual temptations. Knowing when your enemy will attack you is one of the greatest advantages you can gain in wartime. And you are in a war. This insight has immense practical value. For example, if you realize that you are typically tempted when you are up at night and all alone with a computer, don't stay up late at night with a computer anymore. Or if you discover that you are usually tempted whenever you are angry, lonely, or tired, install porn blocking software on all of your electronic devices so that you can't sin when you are at your weakest. Or if you realize that you are typically tempted to look at porn on your phone whenever you take it into the bathroom with you, don't take it into the bathroom with you anymore. Take the Bible instead. Which brings up a good point. One way to battle the when of temptation is to deploy a substitute. Find an activity to do during those times when you know you will be tempted to look at porn. Think of healthy alternatives to looking at pornography and start doing one of them before temptation strikes. That's one good thing about sexual temptation. Once you discover when temptation typically arrives, you can ambush it and defeat it.